Okay, so here we have our first quotient rule question or example, and begin by writing out the problem as normal. Y equals 3x minus 2 over 5x squared minus 2x. Okay, so u is always on top. Okay, so u is 3x minus 2, and the derivative of u is simply 3. Now v is the one on the bottom, so v is 5x squared minus 2x, and v prime, the derivative of v, is 10x minus 2. Okay, and then we're simply going to apply the quotient rule. It's a good idea to write it out every time you use it. It's a bit of a nuisance, but it's certainly the quickest way to learn it. So it's v du dx minus, and it has to be a minus, u dv dx all over v squared. Now it has to be a minus, and because it's a minus, the order is important. You have to start with the bottom by the derivative of the top minus the top by the derivative of the bottom. If you mix up the order here, you'll be wrong. In the product rule, it didn't matter because there was a plus. You were adding two terms, but since you're subtracting on top, the order is very important here. So let's start to fill that in. You get dy dx is equal to v, which is 5x squared minus 2x, so it's the original bottom, times du dx, which is 3, minus, we've got u, which was 3x minus 2, by the derivative of the bottom, 10x minus 2, all over v squared. Now, the thing about the bottom is you have to remember to include it, which is tricky because it's easy to forget it. All the work is done on top. You have to remember to include it, but you don't actually do any work with it. We're just going to leave the bottom as vx squared minus 2x all squared. Okay, so we can then simplify. Sometimes you'll decide yourself that you don't need to simplify the top, but if you're dealing with polynomials, it's often a good idea because it'll break down sometimes to give you something a little bit simpler than this mess. The risk involved in doing that is going to be how you deal with this minus. You have to remember to put the answer to this section, the 3x minus 2 times 10x minus 2, you have to remember to put the answer to that in parentheses because it's following a negative sign, okay? And the negative sign will eventually distribute in. So please, after a negative sign, if you've got any work, then you have to put your answer to that part of it in parentheses. So let's multiply here. We're going to do v by du dx. So multiply the 3 times 5x squared is 15x squared. Minus, oh, sorry about this sort of a problem I'm having with my surface. Let's try and see if we can get it back for you. Okay. So sorry about that. Now multiply here. It'll be minus 6x. Now this is where we have to be careful. We have a minus here. That's this minus. We're bringing it down here now. So everything that's done subsequent to this minus has to be in parentheses. 3x by 10x will be 30x squared. 3x by negative 2 would be negative 6x. Negative 2 by 10x is minus 20x. And negative 2 by negative 2 is plus 4. And on the bottom, remember, we're not going to do any simplification on the bottom at all. So 5x squared minus 2x squared. So let's continue to simplify the top line, and this is just algebra now. The calculus we've long since finished with. We're going to have 15x squared minus 6x minus 30x squared. Now we're distributing this minus sign, so this becomes minus times minus is plus 6x plus 20x minus 4 all over 5x squared minus 2x squared. Sorry, the whole thing is squared. Nearly there. Now dy dx is equal to 15x squared minus 30x squared. That's negative 15x squared. Minus 6x plus 6x disappears, so that leaves you with 20x minus 4 all over 5x squared minus 2x to be squared. And you can see that this expression at the end is a lot more simple to look at than this thing here, which is where we started. Okay, so hopefully you see the benefit of working through it. And that's our answer. We can't simplify it anymore. We never did any work on the bottom. The key thing about the bottom is just simply to remember to include it because it's very easy to forget it. Okay, thank you. Next one coming up.